Mami. Welcome back to La Mami Life podcast. It's been a long time since the last episode aired. And before we jump into season 2, I wanted to come back gently, just you and me, and take a moment to reconnect. So much has happened since season 1. Right now, I'm recording from Málaga, Spain, where my family and I have been living for our second year. Before this, we spent a full year in Bar Harbor, Maine, a place I absolutely adored, truly. Snow, small town life, frozen lakes, ice skating. It felt like a movie. And I'm super grateful we lived that chapter together. But I also need to say this honestly. I miss Los Angeles deeply. LA is my home. I was born and raised there. My family, my friends, my culture, the food, the community. My heart still lives there. I'm a California girl forever, and that ache doesn't go away just because you're somewhere beautiful. And Malaga is beautiful. We're incredibly fortunate to be here in the south of Spain, surrounded by history, by sunlight, and a slow rhythm of life. Holding both things at once, gratitude and grief, has been part of the journey. Since season 1 ended, so many of you have asked me if I would ever bring this podcast back. And the truth is, I wasn't ready. Not mentally, not emotionally, not physically, but now I am. Over these years, I've been producing podcasts for other people, working with small businesses, entrepreneurs, CEOs, helping them tell their stories, build their brands, and find their voice online. And I love that work so much. I love seeing someone go from I have no idea what I'm doing to confidently running their own campaigns, teaching them the tools, empowering them. Some people think that's counterproductive for a social media agency, but to me, it's the opposite. When you help people grow, that always comes back in one way or another. And through all that work, this podcast kept tapping me on the shoulder. Our move itself was an adventure. We sold our home in LA, packed our lives, and drove cross country from Los Angeles, California to Maine, from the West Coast to the East Coast, right before Halloween during a storm with 2 little kids. Nothing went according to plan. Hotels canceled, changed, schedules collapsed, and somehow it became one of the most meaningful memories. Living in Bar Harbor gave us something rare. It was a true small town life, a very Gilmore Girls kind of feeling. I loved it. I miss it, and I would go back in a heartbeat. And then came Spain. Here we live a very Spanish community, not tourist Spain. It's a real everyday kind of Spain. And at the same time, I stay connected to an international community of women who understand what it means to move abroad, to start over, to rebuild identity in a new place. That perspective has changed me and humbled me. Growing up in LA, I was always surrounded by people from everywhere. I loved welcoming others into my city, my family, my world. And now, being the outsider myself, I understand even more how powerful kindness and openness are and how painful it feels when they're missing. I think often about children of migrants, about kids who feel different, even when they're technically belong. And I'm constantly thinking about how to protect my children while helping them grow into compassionate, grounded humans. Motherhood, especially in 2026, is complicated. My kids are growing, adapting, learning languages. My daughter is adjusting beautifully. My son needs special speech therapy. We're navigating accents, identities, expectations. I mean, all of it. And I'm navigating it too. Spanish is my heritage language, but relearning it in Spain with an accent, like a brand new accent, new expressions, has been humbling and exhausting. I often feel like a full time tourist, even while grocery shopping. And honestly, sometimes that curiosity makes life brighter. But let's be real, life here isn't cheap. Not for locals. Spanish salaries haven't kept up with the cost of living, and starting a business here is a whole other level of bureaucracy and fear. Which brings me to now. I'm starting a new business here in Malaga, social media marketing and podcast production, the work I love. It's scary, not because I don't know how to do it, but it's because doing it here feels like swimming against the current. But still, I'm jumping. Because just because we become mommies doesn't mean our dreams stop. And that's where La Mami Life podcast comes back in. This podcast has always been about motherhood, but not in a narrow way. A mommy isn't just a biological mother, it's anyone who nurtures, who supports, who loves deeply, tias, abuelas, pet mommies, caregivers, and allies. This is a space for stories, for honesty, for learning, for community. I want this to be judgment free, shame free, a place where we can talk about the things we usually whisper: childbirth, mental load, exhaustion, ambition, guilt, identity, joy, grief. Because too many mommies feel alone when they're not. And I've seen how powerful it is when stories are shared out loud. If you're here, thank you. If you've been waiting, thank you so much. If you're new, welcome. Season 2 is about connection, about growth, about learning together. And if this resonates with you, share it with another mommy who might need it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in this podcast. And thank you always to my mommy, my ride or die. I love you. Adios, mami.